Hi everybody, welcome back to the old setting. I'm so glad to be back in an area where I can actually film properly and comfortably. Today we will be reviewing Love, Hate and Other Filters by SAMIRA AHMED, which I was privileged enough to receive an ARC of from Dahlia Adler, who was doing a giveaway on Twitter. So thank you very much to Dahlia or anybody else involved in sending this book to me. I very much appreciate it, and I'm so glad that I got to read it pre-publication. If you didn't know, Love, Hate and Other Filters is coming out this month in January. It will be released on the 16th, which I think is exactly a week from now. I wasn't even told that I needed to do a review. I just assumed that even if I didn't have to, I still want to because it's a book that I think is much worth talking about. So Love, Hate and Other Filters is a YA contemporary, and it's the story of a girl called Maya Aziz. It's very difficult for me to properly summarize this book because there's a myriad of things going on, but if I had to generalize it, I would say that this is the story of a girl who is struggling to find herself within the intersections of who she is. It's a story about carving out a space for yourself and trying to understand who you are in all of the spectrums that you fall on. In this story, we're following Maya, a young aspiring film student whose parents, traditional Indian Muslim parents, want her to go to law school or med school. I can't remember. Whenever you say law, med, or engineering, the three just gets confused and wrapped up, and I don't know the difference. But her parents want her to be that. They don't want her to go to film school. So that's one of the main things that she's struggling with throughout this book. In the midst of all of that, she ends up finding herself in this sort of love triangle thing. There's this boy that she knows throughout her entire life from school, and she really likes him, although she knows that her parents will never approve of him. And then there's another boy who is Muslim and who is Indian, who her parents would definitely approve of, and she kind of likes him as well. And I really liked that romantic aspect of this book. Usually I'm not a fan of love triangles. I find them to be a very tired trope. But as you read the story and you read it close, you start to realize that the romance is much bigger than that. Ahmed takes the typical romance contemporary tropes and contextualizes it within the wider themes of this novel. And I absolutely love that. That was kind of clever in my opinion. I don't know if that was intentional, but that's definitely how I read it. But with all of the confusions and hormones and all of these things happening with Maya, there is a portion of each chapter that comes from a very vague perspective, and from the perspective of somebody who seems to be planning to commit a terrorist attack. And the prime suspect for this is a man with the same last name as Maya, and once this hits the media and once people start talking about it, Maya is completely sent down a spiral of hate, of Islamophobia. Her entire family is negatively affected by this, and that further just ties in with all of the rest of the themes and ideas explored in this book. I would say that this is definitely a well-constructed book in the way that Ahmed weaves all of these ideas and conversations together, and it really serves to represent in an almost accurate way the lives of what a Western young Muslim person would be. The kind of things that they go through, the kind of things that they have to face, and the kind of struggles that they have to deal with throughout their entire lives. I really appreciate a good character development arc and coming-of-age story, and that's definitely what this book is for Maya. The book does a very good job at showing you the emotional growth that Maya has to go throughout this story. Because of the fact that she has to go through all of these things, it's causing a lot of stress on her, and you're seeing that clearly on the page. And her means of coping with this stress is almost how she comes to develop as a character and how her character arcs develops throughout the story, and I really enjoy that aspect of this book as well. With regards to the other characters though, I found that I liked them, I just wanted to see more of them, and that goes into one of my main critiques of this book. And my main critique of this book is that it was too short. And I felt like because of that, we got a lot of the romance. Like, I would definitely say that that's kind of the main focus of this book. I felt like if this book was a bit longer, we would have had a lot more time to deal with the whole Islamophobia thing, the whole terrorist attack thing. And I was enjoying those portions of the book, those very vague kind of third-person perspectives. I think that was probably my favorite aspect of reading this book. I'm not saying that the romance completely takes away from the story or anything like that. Don't say that Saajid said that this book is just romance trash. The romance is great and it doesn't take away a lot from the story, but I feel like it does occupy a lot of space. And it doesn't, that's not to say that it should have been reduced. I just think that the book should have been longer so that we could have had more time with the other aspects of it, if that makes sense. The only other thing about this book that I could kind of critique is sometimes I found the narrative, and not so much in dialogue, but the narrative to be kind of awkward, just like the way she words things and says things. I would just be like, okay sis, yeah, you tried that. But other than that, I would say that this is a really great book. It was definitely one of my most anticipated releases of 2018, and I was not disappointed. I went into this book just kind of probing myself, Saajid, you're probably not going to give it 5 stars, and I didn't. I gave it 4 stars. So I'm glad that I went in with that sort of like expectation. Otherwise, if I went into this book expecting that I would have given it a full-blown 5 stars, I might have been a bit disappointed. Please definitely don't go into this with the highest of expectations that it would be the newest of the new and that it will blow you away. And I think once you're going with, you know, not too much high expectation, you will absolutely love this book. I ended up giving Love, Hate and Other Filters 4 stars. I definitely recommend that you all go and pick it up. Put it on hold, pre-order it, get it when it comes out, do what you have to do. I can't even, I'm so glad that a book like this exists. Aisha Saeed actually blurbs the front of this book in a way that I think just really best describes this book purpose, and that is a much needed addition to the young adult canon, and I definitely agree with that. I can't recommend it enough, so I hope that you all go and pick it up, and I hope that you enjoy it as well. That's it for my review for Love, Hate and Other Filters by SAMIRA Ahmed. In the comments down below, let me know if you've read this book. I mean, if you're watching this within the first week of it being published, it's likely that you haven't because it's not out yet. But if it's, you know, past that time and you have read it, please let me know in the comments what your thoughts were on it. And I hope that you have a fun, happy and safe 2018. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope you have a lovely day, and until next time, inshallah, keep reading.